Hey there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And it's Monday, which means we have Monday Colour Challenge. Okay, and these are the three colours we're working with. We've got Rich Raspberry, we've got Pepper Zazz, and we have got one of the retiring in colours. This is Seaside Spray. Now, I don't think this ink pad is available in the store anymore. I think it may have already sold out, but nonetheless, what we could do is substitute that in for Balmy Blue or something like that if you don't have Seaside Spray and you want to use something else. But I'm going to stick with the challenge and go with it. It's just to let you know that's the situation with those right now, and we are going to make a variation on this card. This metallic Seaside Spray, that was the last bit I had. So we'll be switching out the ribbon, but we'll keep the rest of the card pretty similar. I think I'm going to try and invert the colours and just see how it looks, just for fun, you know. Let's just see. So I thought it was quite cute actually. I didn't actually think that that green and the Rich Raspberry would go together very well, but it seems to take on a more of a brown tone next to the green, which is quite interesting. Okay, so variation on a theme then for this one. So we are going to use our Stampin' Artist tool, and the stamp set is Today's Tiles, another retiring set which I actually really liked. I just think it's really fun how you can build up these designs. So we're using the Stampin' Artist, and like I say, I'm going to put that stamp case underneath there to help me ink it up. We'll mix it up a bit, and we'll do the solid in the Rich Raspberry. So hopefully you can see everything I'm doing there. Just standing up just for a second, just so that I can see what you can see. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Oh, leave that open. Need to do it twice. So I'm going to come over, stamp that down. Now, if this doesn't come out great, remember that because we're using a Stampin' Artist, you'll be able to stamp that again. So you just want to lift real slow. The magnets do hold it in place, but the suction on the ink can sometimes make it lift, so you just want to be aware of that. And then we want to stamp again by jumping the plate down 2 notches, and that will fit in just nicely underneath. So I'm just going to re-ink that, put away my ink pad just for a moment, and stamp that one. Okay. So it's roughly a square. It's not quite a square in the actual making of it. Just going to leave that cardstock in place just for a moment. Now this, I want to get this cleaned pretty pronto. The pink ink pads do stain, but I still have one of the ink cleaning pads which does lift up some of that staining a little bit, so just doing that quickly. That isn't available anymore, but I do like to get it out and just help clean off that staining. So sorry about that, just wanted to get that done before it dried on too hard. Okay, right, probably all pink now. No, not too bad. Okay, so we're done with that stamp. So I'm going to swap that out for the other infill set, which is here. And what I'm going to do is lay this over the top. This is another reason for standing up, because I want to be able to position this over the image. This sort of fills in the where's my sample? So it didn't quite line up that well on that one. I think my first one lined up bang on, but the second one didn't quite so much. But let's see how we do with this one. Shall we use the seaside spray instead of the green? I'll stick with the green because I've got a seaside spray ribbon. So just say uninked photopolymer is going to want to cling onto that. So trying to make sure that that's back in position. It's close enough anyway. Paper size then. Ink that up. Make sure it's well covered. Press that down. Cool. Okay. Interesting look. Doesn't come up so well on your camera right now, but I'll show you in a minute when I take it off the Stamparatus. So again, we'll jump it to 1, 2, and in theory that should line up reasonably well. It's got a little bit of margins of error because the paper may have moved just fractionally, you know, with the whole, you know, the bit of the suction pad coming on and all that kind of stuff. So again, just going to grab the chamois, just get that ink off. Chamois is perfect for this kind of thing. Just keep that damp in a stamp case, and then that's ready to go whenever I need it. So I'm just going to pull away these magnets. Do not let your magnets touch, so keep them well apart. well apart. And then we can put away the Stamparatus. Just move that out of the way just for a second. And I'll just show you up close what that looks like. Yeah, see that rich raspberry does kind of take on like almost like we used to have a colour called chocolate chip, and that was like a red brown. So yeah, there we go. Right, okie dokie then. Let's just tidy myself up a little bit. We want to trim this down now with our paper trimmer, so I'm just going to bring that in. And I am going to line up the edge of the stamped image with the sort of the inside edge of that cutting track, so it's just peeking through that aperture there. Then once you've got one square bit, or straight bit, and if you line it up again, just peeking out through that aperture where the blade runs, we should get a near enough even white border around everything. Not quite perfect, but it'll do. Okay, a few little scraps there to use for something else. There we are. And I did what I did with the original one was I just used the edge of the ink pad very gently, just press your cardstock into the ink pad. Say press it, touch it. You don't want to tear the foam on your ink pad. Okay, so that's one way to add a sort of an ink layer around the edge of your card. Could also use a Stamp and Blend marker and run that around the edge too. So it's super subtle, but it just gives it a bit of something. And I don't have any Seaside Spray cardstock left, so I wanted to bring it in somehow, and that is how I did it. And then the other thing I've got is the ribbon, this scalloped ribbon. So it does have this other colour on it. I think I can be forgiven for bringing that in, just for the purposes of this. So we want a couple of strips of that to make our sort of crisscross thing that we had going on. So I'm just going to secure this approximately on the front with some tape. So we've got a lovely straight line in the image that we're using, so we'll use that as our guide. Then some more tape on the back to secure those tails. I think this ribbon was still available last time I looked, but things go, once things start, well, when people realise things are retiring, it all goes a bit bonkers on the online store. So do check out that sales and promotions section of the online shop. Link is in the description to the shop. If you scroll right down to the bottom, if it's in stock, then I've added it to my supply items as well. So if you click on that, it will take you straight to that point in the shop if it's still available. And then while you're there, if you check out the promotions page, sales and promotions, I think it says. Oh, won't sit still. Oh, that's it. You'll see everything that's retiring soon, and some things are also reduced, so just have a look at that. Okay, so we bring in our colour that way. That's not really very straight, but you get the idea. Okay, so that can go onto our card base. I'm going to put plenty of tape on because this ribbon's quite thick. We want to make sure that the adhesive makes contact with our card. So this is a 5-inch card base that I just cut on my trimmer from thick basic white cardstock. So this panel may not turn out to be exactly square, but it's square enough. And once you've laid it all up, you won't notice. Okay, so this ribbon doesn't tie the bestest of bows, so I think we'll go with a knot this time. I'm trying to think how we're going to tie this so that we don't end up with actually, do you know what, let's do it that way. It's typical, isn't it? Can't put it through that way. There we are. So you can sort of use this. So we're going to have to make sure that we crisscross this somewhere along the line to make sure that we see the whisper white bit. So just whisper white, what am I talking about? Can we get away with the bow? So I don't want to see the plain side. The name of the colour has just escaped me completely. It's Seaside Spray. That's what I'm looking for. Seaside Spray. So bows can be a bit tricky with these single-sided ribbons, because otherwise you're going to end up with a loop with like with no colour on it, or a different colour if it's a double-sided ribbon. There we go. Right, change my mind completely. We are going with a bow. Right. I'm going to put a glue dot on there, or 2 maybe. Let's put 2 on, just to be sure. Like so. And we can clip those tails down, preferably to the same length. There we go. Okay, and all we need to do is stamp a sentiment. I think we will go with Pear Pizzazz because that is the colour that's sort of lost slightly, shall we say. So that's Pear Pizzazz ink that we're going to use on this. There we are. And I'm going to use this punch, which I think is called Label Me Lovely. So this one's staying, and Label Me Fancy, very nice. Additions to the labels, really cool. So that goes there, and we just want a couple of dimensionals on there. I don't know where that's come from. Where's that come from? My thumb maybe. Just a couple of dimensionals, top and bottom on there. Should be enough to stick that down. Just want it to nestle in with that ribbon, so the loops don't obscure the sentiment. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. We could add some bling though, couldn't we? Didn't add any on the other one because they're clear. They don't count as a colour. At least they don't in my opinion anyway. Let's just do the little teeny ones here and there, just to, not going to show very well, are they? Yeah, don't show that much, but they're there, and so they're not going to be that visible on the camera, I don't think. Just if you get them in the right light, I guess. Okay, look at that. 2 totally different cards, really. Very different look. I think I do prefer, I don't know actually. I do like this. I do like it. I do like them both. It's very hard to pick a favourite on this one actually. I was going with the green. Partly because I think the green doesn't come through very well on this one. Maybe the Seaside Spray would have. Don't know. Another experiment for you to try if you've got this stamp set. And the inks, give it a go. Give it some of the combinations. And then of course if you want to change it up completely and use totally different colours, that's totally possible too, of course. That's it then. That's all I've got for you today. Links in the description. Please do like, subscribe, follow, etc. Stay safe out there, won't you, everybody? Take care. Goodbye.